Next in our agenda, the next topic is establishing Skills Center of Excellence for Hyper-Personalized Learning. And to do so, I request Ms. Selina David to please come upon the stage, Director for HR Learning and Development, Hitachi, Vantara. Please give her a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Ms. Selina David is a dynamic L&D change leader specializing in enterprise talent transformation with expertise in learning strategy, design thinking, and global project management. She is a certified speaker with extensive international experience across diverse industries. Can we applaud for her once again, please?
Good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure and a joy to be here in this forum with all L&D and HR professionals. We are always working with the business. So it's a lovely family feeling where we get to, just interact with people from the same fraternity. So it is my privilege and honor to share a few thoughts on this topic. And when it was shared with me, I just found it to be very complex, and I tried to figure out what is this Skills Center of Excellence for a hyper-personalized learning. But I'll try to decode that, in a simple way that I thought best, could help us understand this. So I just want to start with the context that all of us are faced with today. The business that we support. As we saw, the first thing is, aligning L&D with business. So businesses today are faced with two realities. One is staying relevant. Yes, staying relevant in this is ever-dynamic marketplace. And, this constant need to re-engineer the skills and the DNA of the talent to stay competitive. The second challenge that our businesses are facing today is having re-engineered our talent, engaging and retaining this skilled workforce so we don't lose them to our neighbor. Yes? And today, as we just saw in the report that was shared, employees consider opportunities to learn and grow as the number one driver of great organization culture. So learning has a placeholder within org culture today. And they find that not because of learning, but because it is connected with their careers. And everybody is looking at growing their careers. And we know we deal with Gen Zs, and we see how the appetite they have to grow their careers and their constant need for change. They work on a particular thing for 6 months, and they're looking for the next best opportunity, which would mean re-engineering themselves on a totally new set of skills. And we have to coach them and tell them that it's easily said than done. You need to not only have the skills, but you also need to have the experience. And they are willing to take up that challenge, unlike how we were when we started off our careers. So it's clear that skills is having a moment. Skills is the new currency. So this is the business context, and we are dealing with it. And skills is the new currency for our success. A growing number of CEOs are focusing on actually how they hire, because we can fix that not by constantly training people, by hiring the right people, yes? And so CEOs are pivoting on skills-first hiring, and we are also doing that at Hitachi. And what does that mean? I'm not saying we fixed the problem and we're all the time doing skills-first hiring, but we are quite intentional about it. And what does that mean? For most of our lives, the way we hired people was basically on the degrees they earned and the academic institutions they came from. And we looked at a resume. We look at, okay, what is their background? What did they study? Which reputable institutions, do they represent? Or it could be the years of experience they hold. Yeah, we lay tremendous value on the experience they hold. And it could also be their network, because they say your network is your net worth, yes? So this is the traditional way of hiring people. Today, nobody cares about these things. It's about skills. It's this whole discussion, this whole conversation with the candidate is about the skills they possess, whether it is tech skills, whether it is functional skills, whether it is domain skills, whether it is even, human skills, life skills, soft skills, professional development, whatever each company calls it. It's just basically trying to have a sense of whether this person really has the skills that align with our org DNA. So today, CEOs are more focused around this kind of skills first hiring. So against this context that I was sharing, how can L&D as a function support organizations fulfill their mandate and help develop a robust talent pipeline to accomplish their business objectives? So as you see here in the slide, across this entire life cycle, yes, employee pre-boarding as well as onboarding, deepening or widening experience. So this is before they join, when they join, then step 2, widening their experience through upskilling, reskilling, cross-skilling initiatives. The next is as they perform on the job on an ongoing basis, providing them performance support, just-in-time support, yes, through micro-learning and other such learning initiatives. Then fourth, when businesses transform, at least at Hitachi, I can tell you, last 4 years has been maddening for us. We've been transforming every 6 months. And it's really becoming hard to keep pace with the way our business is transforming. It's hard for me to keep pace with it from L&D, leave alone employees on the ground. And there's constant demand from the business leaders to help re-engineer our employees to align with the business transformation journey that we are on. So leave alone reskilling, upskilling, and the learning calendar and all of that. We need to help them with the just-in-time support, keeping up with business transformation, this whole Gen AI capability development, all of that. And then assessing that, are people trained? How much business did we get in this space? What are the new avenues in Gen AI? Do we have people trained on that? And clients today are saying it's not enough for you to show me how many people are trained. How much business have you done in this space? So there's this constant thing between sales, L&D, that deeply entrenched L&D is today in the business landscape. So that is this whole business transformation piece. And then, of course, mobility, progression, promotions, because employees are looking to invest in themselves if they have opportunities for career mobility within the organization, and can L&D partner with employees in that journey, help them progress, help them grow, and of course the 4 Ps, yes, pay, performance, just basically have that presence, yes, within, as a subject matter expert, and of course their promotion. So typically, as a function, we need to get involved in this entire life cycle of an employee. So revamping our world, yes, is a very, very critical thing for all of us. And we need to really look at how we are operating, or how are we actually even transforming ourselves and our function to support this current business need. And I think personalization really helps. Because if you look at the talent today, or rather, let me put it like that, how has L&D historically been? And we've not been able to let go of that baby that we love, yes? That is following a top-down approach, yes? Where somebody in the leadership decides what kind of capability development programs employees need to go through at different stages. And then L&D listens to them, and we put together a training calendar, yes? So that's the historical thing. That did make sense in companies which were very role-based. But today, it's not fully role-based. It is role-based to some extent, but we are looking at building fungible talent. And for me, this year, this is my mandate. I need to build fungible talent and show business outcomes to my business leader, to our chief delivery officer. It's really not a easy thing. As I look at it, like thousands of people, each one has a bunch of skill sets, and I need to make sure that I'll show an example that how we. Or let me just straight jump into that. It's right here. So if you look at it, I've just put one example there. Like if I have an AWS full stack developer, And there are we classified them under 3 levels, yes? So a level 1 is somebody with 0 to 3 years, and level 2, 3 to 10, and then you have level 3 is somebody with 10 plus years of experience. And of course, the sky is not even the limit for identifying the skills, but we said, let's keep it lean, and to start with, let's just identify what are the skills a level 1 AWS full stack developer would need, yes, to compete in the business that we are in today. And so we put these things. Now, if you look, I'm talking about moving from a historical top-down to personalization, yes? So we did a skills assessment, and we found that we did it for hundreds and thousands of people. And each one is at a varied level of proficiency. Let's say level 1 core Java, we did basic, intermediate, advanced level. So we had a bunch of people with core Java basic, bunch of people with core Java intermediate, bunch of people with core Java proficient, and we had descriptors for each one of them. So people could read the descriptor and identify where they are. Likewise, the microservices Spring and so on and so forth. Now we have this whole data before us, and imagine converting that into a personalized learning plan. Leave alone personalized learning plans, then giving them the wherewithal to upskill themselves and be able to support the business and make their careers and help grow more revenue, whatsoever, and build fungibility so that nobody is sitting on the bench without being leveraged. And we have a very tight bench policy. Since I come from a tech firm, and those of you with tech companies, you know how it is, the affordability, yes, of keeping somebody on the bench for, nowadays, we don't want to keep somebody for more than 2 months on the bench, given the market situation. So this whole thing we are faced with, and L&D is involved in this whole process, not just sitting somewhere waiting for business to give direction on these are the training programs, and then making a calendar, and then just dishing the calendar, and then checking how many have nominated. It's not really going to happen that way. Further, I just wanted to share that we love instructor-led programs. In fact, even recently, me and my team were talking about, hey, we should bring back instructor-led, at least some, because last 3 years we've not been having instructor-led, yes? So somehow we are in love with instructor-led programs, and so we have that, let's say core Java level 1, and we just bring all of them together in one room and we train them. And we're like, we're moving you from proficiency level basic to intermediate. It's not going to work. Because even within level 1 core Java, level 1 basic, there are people with different learning needs. And again, within that, there are different sub-proficiency levels. So one size cannot fit all. We can't bring them into a training program and have get the training program to solve that need. And the business is also not as much for it, the one size fits all training programs. So that's where this hyper-personalized learning comes into the picture. And imagine hyper-personalized learning at a scale, if it's a large organization. We're not that large, yes? We are not, we are going to become 34,000 now with some, integrations, but it's still difficult to manage from my point of view for the numbers that we have. Just imagine some of you come from companies which are like into lakhs of people, yes? So imagine that hyper-personalized learning experience. And today, that's what an employee wants. The employee doesn't care whether I come from a small company or this is a large company and this is not possible. For an employee, if you want me to do my career here, you want me to retain me here, then give me something which is compelling. Give me a hyper-personalized learning experience. So this takes me to the next point. And that is our favorite LMS. Yes, all of us love, if you're from L&D, you know how life is with and without an LMS. When I started my career some 25 years ago, I remember going to the room, collecting the feedback. Then I would land up in office on Saturdays because it was a holiday, and I'd be sitting with a stack of feedback forms and analyzing each one of them and making a feedback summary report and do all this work that automation helped us with the advent of the LMS. So that's our favorite. But how can the LMS take care of this hyper-personalized learning need of an employee? Yes, it cannot. The simple answer to that is because although the LMSs have revolutionized things for L&D in the sense that, it helps us with all the admin work, yes? All the whole admin piece that you can connect with. Yes, it has saved a lot of time, cost, and even having people with limited skill sets, admin skill sets. Today within L&D, we are also not looking at hiring people with admin skill sets. We are very careful. We want to hire somebody who can go beyond administrator roles. We're like, let's use systems for administration, and let's hire L&D resources who can actually work with the business and add value to the business from that standpoint. Yeah, so we're very conscious. Every JD I write for a L&D hire, I get challenged. Selina, how much of admin is in this? Let's keep it to a minimum. So the point is, we want to use LMS for that. But the point is, LMSs did not help us democratize learning at the workplace. The disadvantage with LMS is that it's only a catalog of learning assets. It's like a library of sorts, and it provides greater learning access to employees, but very little to personalize their learning experience. Like you dump that entire, not only the admin piece, but you also dump the entire learning catalog on them and say, now pick it, learn, and move on. And COVID did that. And you know how the learning curve was during that. Because who's motivated in their 9 hours of coding and developing to go to that LMS and then search and then sit with that distant, impersonal learning content and go through it, and then, who's motivated? We ourselves don't do that as L&D professionals, yes? Look at how many of us looked at that LinkedIn report that we were asked, yes? So that's this whole thing, yeah, with engaging with LMS. So with that, I just, want to bring in this whole thing that instead of a learning management system, today what learners are looking at is, learning management is more for us, yes, for L&D. For learners, what they're looking at a learning experience. So they're calling it LXPs, learning experience platforms. And this hyper-personalized learning is all about learning experience platforms. And what is a learning? It's quite a technical definition over there, but just to simply put it, it is just integrating various learning systems that can talk to one another. So it's a platform. If, for example, if you have a skill-based system in the company, and then so people do their self-assessment on a bunch of required skills, to be successful in their current role as well as in the career architecture, the next role. So they assess. Then what happens? So that one skill system gives that, and you pull out the report and you analyze the report. Then you feed that data back into another system. So an LXP, what it does is you do skills assessment, and then that directly flows into their goal setting process. You with me? Yes? So my health skills and my required skills and the delta is brought out, then that flows into my goal setting form, which is my performance management goal setting form. And then automatically, I have a list of mentors or coaches or, subject matter experts who can help me, in that, navigate that whole learning thing. And then now having defined what my learning needs are so that I can grow in my career, support the business. What about learning assets? So it's this whole integration of various systems and disparate systems and tools companies have, where you bring them all on a platform, and then there is this whole AI and machine learning, push from, that just allows one system to talk to the other. And for an employee, it is a seamless learning experience. Yes, and the learning assets are also not just static learning, courses, but you have this whole bunch of them, yes? So I know it's, time up for me, but these are the different benefits of, I'm done, and just give me a minute, yes? I know we have a long day and there is just so much waiting, and perhaps some of this is going to be covered through the day, this being, one of the, this being the need of the hour. But these are the different benefits of a learning experience platform for an individual. And as organizations, I think we need to transition from this whole traditional LMS or learning, e-learning based approach to providing our learners a learning experience to help them navigate their careers within the organization. So individual learning journeys, customized learning pathways, it helps them take charge of their development, peer-to-peer and social collaborative learning, personalized learning avenues, and for L&D, of course, a bunch of, stuff to help us report and build dashboards, yes? And within Hitachi, we are using Percipio. Percipio is a learning experience platform. I don't know how many of you are invested in it, but we are using Skillsoft's Percipio, and we've actually now this year we've invested in a much more advanced version, which gives access to Code Academy and stuff like that. But I must be honest, everything is not fully integrated for us. So I am now looking at how I can, work with the business and helping them. They need to invest, yes, because we can't always ask management to give us, corporate to give us a L&D budget, we being a cost center. So we need to sell this to the business and get business to make that investment, which is what I'm aiming to do this year, yes? So, but however, we've successfully made this investment, and this is how Percipio has helped us achieve some of our learning experience goals and objectives for our employees. And so, in conclusion, all genuine learning comes through experience. It's not just sitting and learning from, an instructor, a guru, or just sitting and engaging with some impersonal learning content. I think it's about clubbing learning with experience, not just on-the-job experience, but basically having that entire, integrated learning experience. Yeah? Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We are honored to have you here and would like to felicitate you. And to do so, I request Mr. Nikhil Chadda, advisor at Force, to please come upon the stage. Can we all give her a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen?